It's more than 6 months since the federal government said no to the controversial Traveston Dam near Gympie. But there's ongoing anxiety and uncertainty for the hundreds of landowners who sold their properties to the state government in the name of water security. Less than a quarter of them have put up their hands to buy back their land. But as James Kelly reports, getting their life back on track looks set to be a long and worrying process.
The tourist train still pulls into the small town of Kandanga in the Mary Valley near Gympie, but locals are steaming over the impact on their picturesque community and the upheaval they suffered over the now defunct Traveston Crossing Dam.
It's been a debacle, a true tragedy of people being affected.
It was probably the most traumatic, 3-4 years of our lives. It was terrible.
In 2006, the former Premier Peter Beattie declared his government would dam the Mary River. That invoked outrage from farmers and environmentalists alike, who feared their livelihoods would be destroyed, along with the vulnerable Australian lungfish and the endangered Mary River cod and turtle.
There were 494 properties that were acquired in various ways by Queensland Water Infrastructure.
While some sold out, others like Glenda Pickerskill dug in their heels and eventually took the fight to the Federal Environment Minister, who answered their prayers in November last year.
It's my intention to say no to Traveston Dam.
The decision brought tears of joy in Kandanga.
Certainly wonderful. The science has won.
Is that wonderful, ma'am?
Yes. After 3.5 years. We
regret that disruption happened. The government had a view around the importance of the delivery of water security for 800,000 people in southeast Queensland, and we saw the Traveston Crossing Dam as a significant part of the solution to those issues. The federal Environment Minister saw it differently.
After the dust settled, the state government gave former property owners the chance to buy back their land.
We made it very clear that there were conditions around those buybacks, that they'd be at the price that the government purchased the property for, but that also that we'd understand that we'd extend, a holiday from stamp duty and from the legal fees associated with any of those buybacks.
Dairy farmer John Cochran is one of 97 people who've put up their hand to reclaim their land. Expressions of interest officially closed this week.
I've been here, I planned to be here for a lot of years. Wasn't my plan to sell it, so yeah, I would like it back.
He says he's prepared to buy back the property under the same terms that the government had, fair market value.
I can understand people out there thinking that we should pay what we got given for it, but who's going to pay the capital gains tax? I've had to pay it, and we've got a rural market now that is really depressed. So I'm willing to buy it back at valuation, the same as everybody else that would be interested in buying it.
So market value?
Market value.
Murray Stewart also sold his property. He'd run an outdoor education centre for school students on the land for nearly 5 years.
We were promised a lot by QWI that they wished to keep us on and they wanted us to manage the property in the future, and they had all this vision and they were using us, and then we felt comfortable with that and sold the property. And then pretty much once the deal was done, they said, no, you can pack your bags and leave now. So we are hoping to get back.
Mr Stewart says he also won't be paying the price he got for the property because the business has been closed for 18 months.
It's not a business that you can open in 5 seconds and have customers straight back in the door. There's a long lead time with school camps and things like that for us to do it. So, yeah, it is a little bit rich for them to say, yeah, you've got to pay the same money that we pay, they paid us.
Planning Minister Sterling Hinchliffe has reaffirmed there's little room to move.
This can be a win-win for everybody.
Minister Hinchliffe says there are also hundreds who don't want their properties back.
I think around 90% are the subject of ongoing leases which the government's going to honour as well.
And many more have moved out of the valley.
I think it's quite sad that when I think through my long-term neighbours that have moved on now, and some of them are interstate.
We'd be in a position as a government to sell the properties, but I can assure the people of the Valley and ensure people across Queensland that we won't be conducting any sort of fire sale here.
While Mary Valley residents welcomed Peter Garrett's no dam decision, it left a bitter taste in the mouths of business people here in Gympie. They were hoping the project would bring economic prosperity and jobs to the region.
It would have been a massive shot in the arm economically.
The Bligh government has provided around $500,000 to support the local council plan for the future, but that's seen as paltry.
To spend over $500 million in acquiring property for a project that has now just been scuppered, and then to put $500,000 back for somebody else to clean up your mess is not good enough.
Next week, Kandanga's Anti-Dam Information Centre will officially become a museum, a permanent reminder of a government policy that ran off the rails and is still causing heartache.
Emotionally, a real roller coaster ride. There's a lot of people that have really done it tough, and I don't think it's fair on them.